Alright guys, today we're going to break down a track from my album Lost. It's called When You're Gone. I put out a little survey on the YouTube channel and a lot of people wanted me to break down another song from the album, and I thought this would be a good one. It's pretty cool. I like it. Here's a little clip of it. So yeah, that's pretty much all the elements that are in that track. So we'll start with this first part, right? Get a little loop going. So it's a tape recorded sample as usual, right? So let me just play the sample. Let me find the note. Cool. So this one's a little different than the other ones because I don't even have this sample saved. So I must have just recorded it on the spot. I'm not sure what synth it's from. It's probably silent, and I recorded it with my tape recorder and plugged it into sampler, right? So what do we got going on in this thing? Filter, nothing much, nothing really exciting, to be honest. It's pretty dry. It's just a straight sample. That's all it is, really. It's pretty simple, and a lot of times simpler is better, you know. So let's see what the EQ is doing. Cool. It's really kind of boring, to be honest, but if you guys, if you watch my making a beat from scratch, you'll see this whole process, how I tape record and plug it into sampler. That's how I get a lot of my lo-fi sounds, and I think it's cool because it's pretty much no one else is gonna have this unless I release it, so no one else could really create that same exact sound. So yeah, that's the first one. As far as the notes go, it's like one chord just slowly played out in different pattern. Pretty simple, right? So let's move on to the next element we have here. Let's see. Okay, doesn't want to play. That's interesting. What the hell's that? Let's hear it with the other one. So you can hear it's kind of just lending to that main melody with the chords. I think what it's doing is playing these top notes, and with a little bit of variance with this bottom one, but it kind of just like, you know, adds to that whole sound, gives it another layer. Let's see what's going on in there. Probably the same sample if I had to guess. No, it's a different sample, right? Yeah, well, it's a different part of this same sample. Usually what I do is I'll record a C note, but like change the patch on the synth. That's what all these different waves are. So it's like different sounds, but from the same recording. So like, for example, let's go, where the heck is it? Right? And then if I want to have a different sound, then yet again another sound, then another sound. So yeah, that's how I do it. Basically, it just works in my mind. Like, I just have different patches right here, and it's like I can make a song out of these 5 different sounds, right? Or at least that's the challenge. So yeah, that one's just right there. Filter it's pretty filtered, so it's cutting a lot of the high end out, and it has a long attack, so that's why it kind of builds up, gets louder. Right, and then it has a simple delay, which is giving it like that kind of wider. It's like a ping pong almost, because it's 2 different times on each side. So if I really turn this up, you can hear it bouncing side to side. Oh, and then a compressor on it, and then sidechain. So sidechain's going with the kick. So let's listen to it with the drums. You can hear it a lot more definite in this first pad. It's really chopping at it. Alright, so we'll move on to the next sound. Let me turn all these off real quick. Boom. Wait, it's supposed to work. Okay. Let's move to the next one. So this is like that little lead. So if you watch my Lofi xylophone tutorial, you'll see how I made this sound. It's basically a sample that I recorded off my little baby sister's xylophone toy. And then I just plugged it into sampler, and now I have this. Let's see. Whatever. Yeah, so that's the sound it makes. I have it on this sustain mode so that, see how it's still going? It's gonna come back. So the release is actually that. So that it's more like ambient, it has a longer tail. Since you could see in this sample, like another hit starts right here. So if I would have left it like that, it would have kept hitting and it would have been annoying. So I did that for the sustain. Let's look at the filter over here. Filter doesn't have much, just this way too long of a release. I don't even know if that's necessary, but that's what I did. And multiband dynamics. So a lot of time, well, let me see real quick. Pitch. Yeah, there's nothing going on there. Okay, yeah. So multiband dynamics. What I do a lot with these tape recorded samples is I boost this high on the multiband compressor right here. All it's doing is basically giving it more gain on 2.5 kilohertz and above. So that's really going to bring out the hiss of the tape recorder and brighten up the sound. So we'll watch what it does. You can see how it just kind of like enhances it, gives it nice and more clarity, I guess you could say. But you got to be careful with that because you could get some really harsh frequencies sometimes. Then we have EQ right here. Just kind of taming it down again, keeping it lo-fi. Then we have this reverb. You can hear it's really doing a lot. 4.5 second release on that. Just giving it more ambience and space. And then we have Isotope Vinyl, so this is gonna give it some lo-fi-ness, right? I have it on the 1980. Have some wear, warp depth. You can kind of hear what it's doing there. Nice and lo-fi. Then we got Monomod doing what it usually does, right? Warping the pitch. You could see that could get really annoying right away. And putting the mix to 93 kind of gives it like a chorusy effect whenever it reaches these extremes on the top and bottom, which is kind of cool. Gives it like a tape kind of sound, like a warp tape. Then we have my favorite chorus, TAL. So we'll mute it. You can see I'm not overdoing it with that, just a little tad just to widen it up, give it some chorus. And a compressor, just compressing the peaks a little bit, and sidechain. Whoa, I have 2 sidechains on this? That's weird. Probably didn't even know that. Let's see what it... Okay, so this sidechain's not even doing anything. I can turn it off. This one's just sidechaining with the kick, like the other 2 tracks. So on these kind of tracks, lo-fi, I usually sidechain everything to the kick, just to give it like the vintage feel, you know? Alright, so that's for that. Let's see what this is. So that's that big fat bass. And this is a preset Young Bass Sickness that I created. And what it is just like a detuned, what kind of wave is this called? Saw wave. It's a detuned saw wave. It's detuned quite a lot, and that's what gives it that white sound. Watch. It has a long release. It also has portamento going on. That's what's making it kind of slide through each note. And I also have another saw wave over here with 2 voices. This one has 8, and they're both pitched down to -2 octaves, probably because I was too lazy to just hit the octave button on my keyboard. And yeah, it's really simple, not much going on there. Alright, so we'll get down to the drums. Let's check it out. Like, how much more simple could you get, bro? What the fuck? Why won't it let me? Okay. Here's the drums. So pretty simple drum line right there. I played that with my fingers on my drum pad. And the samples are, I think the kick is from the Lex Luger. And then I have these dirty drums. Let me see if I can find it. Samples, yeah, TS Dirty Drum Pack. It's a free drum pack. I don't know if it's still online, but if you look that up, you'll find it. It's basically drums recorded off vinyl, drum samples. So I use that a lot. And that's what the hat, the snare, and all that stuff is. So let's break it down drum by drum. I don't think I did much, honestly. Snare just has some reverb. Kick, nothing really. I just watch. That was the kick before. So just to make it more thumpy, I cut out all the high end and just really left like below 1000 hertz. And yeah, that's how you get that kind of kick sound. I didn't even transpose it. You could transpose it, it'll make it sound more lo-fi. And but yeah, that does the job. Now we have a clap here. Looks like I did a decent amount of things here. So we have reverb. That's that clap that comes in like every 2 snares. Right here. Right, so you can tell it's just like enhancing. And like I said, with drums especially, like adding little things here or there every other measure keeps it more interesting. So that's what this clap's doing. So it's just like a big, huge clap with the inside of a huge room. So I EQ'd it quite a bit. Let's see what it sounds like without the EQ. Yeah, that just makes it like way too big. So this is another plugin, Up Stereo Pro. I think it's a Waves plugin. I'm not sure though. It might not be. But all it does is make things wider. So you can see I boosted the whiteness 74%. You could add, it actually saturates too. So you could add punch, sizzle, shape the everything, you know. We'll hear it without it. Here's width. You see, it just widened it and kind of give it a sizzle. So that's something I used here and there. I haven't actually used that too much, but in this song I did. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this song. It's pretty simple, but I think it goes to show with just, 4 or 5 tracks, you could make a whole song, make it sound pretty cool. Let's see what's happening on the master over here. Master bus. So let me unmute everything. So you can see right here, it's just compressing very little bit, and the limiters kind of crushing it to make it louder. And then this effect rack right here is gonna pop in probably, let's see, where is it? Right here. So we'll watch that transition. So you kind of see the effect it had there in that little transition. It just I took away a lot of the frequencies and I made it mono, brought the gain down on the whole track by 7 dB. So when it turns back off right here, it's gonna get louder and wider and more frequencies right at this point. So if you've been watching my tutorials, you know I do that like in every song. But I think it just adds like a different, you know, those transitions. It's kind of more meant to be ambient. And this, with a lot of lo-fi, what I like about lo-fi is like getting that nostalgia kind of sound, where like when you're a little kid watching VHS tapes. Well, at least when I was, I don't know what kids these days do. Watch YouTube. What's up, kids? Anyways, yeah, that pretty much does it for this song. Not much, not very complicated, but I think it's cool to see that you don't have to be complicated to make a decent sounding song. Alright, again, if you want to hear this song on Spotify, SoundCloud, it's called When You're Gone. Alright guys, and give me feedback in the comments, subscribe, let me know what kind of tutorials you want to see, or if there's another song you want me to break down. Alright, thanks.